Hi, I'm Diana Trout. Welcome to my DVD workshop. Today we'll be demonstrating a bunch of techniques to use on papers, including watercolor, inks, creating your own stamps and stencils, and paste paper. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started and jump right in with watercolor. Okay, so here we are with watercolors, and I've got paper. I'll tell you a little bit about the tools I'll be using first. This paper is about a 90-pound hot press paper, which means it's really smooth. You could use cold press. It's a rougher paper. It holds a lot of color. But I like this. It's Stonehenge. Let me talk about my palette a little bit. I have a basic palette. Here you can see that I have a lot of colors. But if you're just getting started, the three colors I would start with are the Winsor Blue. These are Winsor & Newton colors. Winsor Blue. I love the Permanent Rose, the Gamboge Yellow, and I throw in black. I'll talk about that a little bit in a little while. I have added to my basic palette by putting in some yellow and two more yellows, and yellow ochre and a more lemony yellow, and a Winsor red. I also have over here ultramarine blue, which I love this color. It makes a wonderful purple. So you could add that, and I can never go without green because it's my favorite color. So I've got sap green here. But again, if you're only getting started, I would go with those first three colors, and they are on the supply list. Okay, brushes. I have 3 brushes here today. I like to have a great big fat brush, and the way I prep that is by getting it nice and wet. You want the water to be absorbed all the way into that bristle. So that's first. Oh, I forgot to tell you about spritzing. Take your spray bottle of water and just give your paints a good spritz. If your paints have dried out, this will reconstitute them, and they'll be great to go. You can keep these for months on end, but you'll be painting too much, so they won't last for months on end once you get started with this. Okay, so I've got my nice wet brush. I'm just going to remove some of the water from the ferrule, which is this metal bit where the bristles meet the brush. Let's just get started with what color's grabbing me. Permanent Rose. And I'm just brushing and brushing and loading my brush with color here. Getting as much color into that brush as I can get. And now I'm going to take my spray bottle of water and give my paper a little spritz. You'll find this helps to get that paint from the palette to the paper. That can sometimes be tricky if you're just beginning. So give yourself some time and practice a little bit with this. Now, there goes some beautiful color, and you can see that pink running into the wetness around it. So I'm just going to lay down, get some more going there. I'm going to get some water and just move it around a little bit. So I have two containers of water. I like to work with 2 containers so that one is for dirty water when I first rinse my brush, and then I go into the clean water so you don't get that muddiness into your paints. So I'm going to grab here, I'm going to grab some of this ultramarine blue. Same brushing and brushing, and really loading up that brush with paint. I think I'll grab a little bit more water. You'll get the feel for this. This is just a feel thing, how much water to how much paint. And you can see that purple coming. I'm going to grab some more water, and you can see that beautiful, that was the ultramarine blue. And you can see that beautiful purple emerging and running into itself. And let's grab some, just to see how this bit of red here, let's grab, mixes with the yellow. Just going to grab some yellow, and let's just throw that in. Now, you can see here too that where the yellow mixed with the purple, it turned into a muddy color. And actually, that's quite nice, I think, in areas. So, by all means, once you get used to working with these, you'll start to play with that. And we can go right ahead here. Let's do a spritz of alcohol and see what happens here. Better yet, I'm going to pull this cap right off the alcohol. And you can already see, can you see that white coming out? It gives a nice effect, just something a little different to a background. You could also spritz it. I think the drops are a little more effective. There we go. There's a spritz. And a spritz. Don't get your alcohol confused with your water bottles. I do that all the time. It's dreadful. Okay. That is one technique. Let's go on to another mixing technique, and we'll try some salt resist this time. Again, nice clean water. Tap off that brush. I just use old bath towels for my rags. Okay, I'm going into the yellow. Again, that gamboge yellow is a beautiful, rich color, and it's almost an orangey. I love it. I forgot to spray the paper. That's okay. Go on in and spray it. No problem. Okay. Oh, gosh, I love the way that color moves around. I'm going to go into the red now, the permanent rose again, and this is gonna make me happy. Oh, it's just so the way it spreads, it's so organic. You never know exactly what it's going to do. So it's always fun to watch. It's almost like it's a magical thing happening. Let's get some green going here. Right there. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I pull it down. Got almost a stripey thing happening here. Kind of interesting. So just play around with that. I'm going to throw down, well, I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to scatter a bit of salt onto this surface, and the salt will absorb the paint and give you a really interesting background as well. And you can actually, I don't know if you can see that happening. I'll show you a finished piece in a moment. But if you just, as long as the water is wet and puddly, the salt will absorb it. So I can see that it's much wetter here, and I can see it being absorbed, and not as wet here. So the effect will not be as strong, but that's okay.